Hi, thank you for joining us today for a lightning session on social media success. This is going to be a little different today. We're going to do it in a new format called Pecha Kucha, which is 20 slides, 20 seconds per slide, which comes out to about 7 minutes. And I'm Denny Phillips. I'm creative director for CLEAResult.
And I'm Rebecca Robertson. I'm the social strategist here at ClearResult. We're here to talk about what even is social and how can brands be successful in that space. So, social, like other marketing channels, really helps brands achieve four main goals. So, those are awareness, right? Introducing the brand to new users, engagement, determining interest in the brand with both new users and users and maintaining interest with current users, conversion, getting folks to take action with the brand, and then advocacy, reporting back to friends and followers about their experience with the brand. And so, in those experiences, if we think of social platforms as a marketplace, then engagement and attention are the currency. So, comments and shares are those higher value engagements because they take more time for users to do. They have more of an investment and more of a buy in. So we can get that buy-in in a few different ways. One of those is through organic content. So this is going directly to followers who already have said they want to hear from your brand by following you. So take a look at those best performing posts to see what audience want to see, and then pay to promote those to get even more bang for your buck and even more of that engagement metric that we're going for. Another way to do this is through paid social media. And this is the way to reach beyond a brand's organic followers, organic audience. This is how you would use an omni-channel approach because you can do audience segmentation with this and have layers of email lists or previous engagers or website visitors and really target those specific interactions and those specific users. And then we also want to think about the social media channels where that brand is showing up. We all have expectations when we open an app for what our behavior is going to be when we go ahead and open that. And the same is true for social. So we want to align the brand within the parameters of what those user expectations already are when they appear on your feeds.
And when speaking of feeds, how do you stick out from the sea of sameness? Everyone around you is trying to vie for that exact same amount of space and time on that person's phone and on your customer. And how do you do that? You do it through style. You do it, make sure that your content is purposeful and that you listen to the community. You let them lead. You take a second and wonder how you can be sensitive to them, because it isn't just about a billboard. It is a relationship. This is a value that you're bringing to this relationship, and you have to remind everybody what that value is every time that you interact with them. You want to be sensitive to the tone that you have as well when you have that relationship. Those conversations that happen in an omni-channel environment can happen in different ways on different channels. So when we take a look at the value of that relationship, we have to wonder where it's going to be and how it will sound in those channels. People have expectations that there's more casual interactions happening on Instagram than there would be on LinkedIn, for example. And so we have to make sure that when we look at our brand, that we're using it in the right way at the right times on the right channels. So as we look at the content that we put in those channels, it isn't just about the tone and the words, it's about what we see too. We have to make sure that what we do is ownable and it's authentic to the brand. So as we take a look at what we've done here for ClearResult Energy Forum, we take examples and we use them for not just visuals, but for video as well. We make them ownable by the stock photography that we choose and what we lay over top of it, because we know that the video, for example, is 135% higher organic reach and happens so fast that it has to happen within the first 1.7 seconds for people to not scroll past you. And in that next 3 seconds, they're probably going to skip you. So you have to tell them what you're here for and what value you have to them in that relationship that we talked about earlier. Because they're going to value every single thing that you put up there in that conversation that we've discussed, we have to know that whether or not this content is going to be share worthy. Are they going to like this content? Are they going to want to be those trusted advisors to their friends and to their feed as they begin to share this out? Because they start to become advocates for your brand. And as you look at that content that we post, we have to make sure that it is always taking into consideration the omni-channel environment.
So part of making a really shareable content timeline is having similar things on similar days so audiences know what to expect. It puts the expectation of knowing, hey, this brand shares a webinar on Wednesday, so I'm going to look to their account for that on that day. Or this brand shares tips on Thursdays. So you have content on a specific timeline. You're thinking like a publisher. You're making it easier for audiences to know what to expect when they get to your accounts. And that's helpful in remembering that social is just one of the many channels that audiences are accessing your content. It's part of that omni-channel approach, right? So if we know it takes 7 interactions to get to a yes, then we want to have multiple touch points, and social is just part of one of those touch points. And thinking about timelines as well, we really want to think about cultural moments. There are ways that you can help the brand participate in a larger conversation and get the the name out there. So you have to think about what's right for your brand. Is it right to talk about a cultural moment like the first day of summer? We thought it was because we could share energy saving tips, but think about what's right for your brand and have a reason or a purpose for being there. Pride helped us shout out our partners, so it's definitely one we wanted to participate in. And then the way that you think about what community is participating is by tracking it on a thing like a social listening dashboard or even looking at your feeds. You can see a snapshot of conversations, see where there's more positive conversations and more negative conversations, and then address them. The community really is responding. And so think about what conversations you want to participate in. Maybe there's something trending, or maybe your competitors are doing something very interesting that you want to share a point of view on. But track those and see what makes sense to create content around. And when you create that content, you don't just want to post it and ghost. You want to actually step up and have that conversation. So participate, answer folks, whether it's good or whether it's bad. All those interactions can lead to an action. And maybe you can make an advocate out of someone who was an adversary. Maybe you can have a conversation that changes someone's mind.
Absolutely, and I think that that's what social media success looks like. Is that we take those communities and create advocacy inside of them. That's really what we're talking about today, because it's always easier for us and cheaper for us to continue to grow a community to build a new one. Thank you very much for joining us today on this lightning session for social media success.